Ashes of Creation is here to make MMOs great again. Fed up with pay-to-win cash grab games, Steven Sharif started Intrepid Studios, making an open-world, non-faction-based MMO. Built around player actions, the world reacts to your decisions. Massive metropolises will rise from humble beginnings. Legendary creatures will awaken from their slumber, and friend will turn to foe when fortune and glory are on the line. Development started in February of 2016, and with over $30 million in the project, progress has been rapid. But they wanted to expand their game, so they went to Kickstarter, where Ashes of Creation became the #1 all-time most successful MMO in Kickstarter history. Featuring 40-man raids, castle sieges, personal housing, ships and naval content, arenas, caravans, and so much more, it's easy to see why fans are so excited. We have a lot to cover in this overview, so let's get started. Ashes of Creation is set in a high fantasy world with monsters and magic, dragons and heroes. There are 9 races to choose from. The humans include the Kalar, who focus on building, order, civilization, and have the largest empires, while the Vaylun focus on trade, law, hardship, and become the wealthiest empires. The dwarves include the Danir, who are stoic, tradition, forge, and are proud mountain-dwelling crafters, while the Nikua focus on family, freedom, courage. They're hunters and artisans who left the mountains. The orcs include the Renkai, who focus on honor, power, tranquility, and believe in ultimate focus to control their power, while the Vek are celestial, purpose, fate. They are star-gazing prophets. Lastly are the Tolnar, who were added during the Kickstarter. Ages ago, when other races fled the world, the Tolnar went underground. They are now a culmination of those races who existed before. But unlike other games, your race isn't just a visual appearance, but will also augment your class. There are no restrictions on race-class combos, but an elven fighter will feel different than a dwarven fighter while still serving the same role. Classes are a combination of 2 archetypes. There are 8 archetypes in total, covering the traditional fantasy roles: tank, fighter, cleric, mage, ranger, bard, summoner, and rogue. You choose one to start, gaining more abilities and power as you level. Later, you'll choose a secondary archetype which will augment your primary archetype skills. For example, a tank primary may have a charge ability, and a mage could augment that charge to become a teleport, or a rogue could augment it to become a stealth charge. Each class will also have a special utility skill. Some examples are disarming traps, detecting hidden magic, cleansing areas of evil, or sensing when enemies are going to attack. Some classes can even climb walls. While Ashes of Creation is influenced by the holy trinity of tank, DPS, and healer, the system offers a wide array of choices. Do you make a tank cleric, becoming a paladin, healing yourself and smiting your enemies? Or do you choose tank summoner, conjuring mystical shields to protect yourself and allies? Between your race, primary, and secondary archetype, you'll have hundreds of options to choose from. But choose wisely, as choices matter, and you'll need every advantage you can get when facing off against what the world throws at you. Questing in Ashes of Creation aims to combine the best elements of traditional MMOs with unique player-driven experiences that change in real time. From public quests to epic quest chains, you'll alter the world around you based on your actions as an individual and as a community. For example, an innkeeper may give you a simple kill 10 elks quest, but if too many are killed in the area, the innkeeper may stop offering that quest, or the mother of all elks may appear as a boss to protect its herd. While most MMOs have tons of filler quests with endless pages of meaningless text, Ashes of Creation replaces them with tasks that lets you get straight to the point. More important quests that are integral to the narrative will have fuller, fleshed out storylines for you to get lost in. Dungeons will be available for both solo and 8-man groups, in both instanced and open world environments. The most epic encounters will involve 40-man raids tackling the most fearsome creatures, but numbers alone will not be enough. As the developers have stated, strategy and problem solving will be key, and leaderboards will separate the best from the rest. While questing and dungeons are something you do, world events happen to you. For ages the world was abandoned, but now that our heroes have returned, the monsters are fighting back. From hordes of zombies attacking towns to massive dragons erupting from their mountainous depths. And while players can band together to repel the invasion, some just want to watch the world burn. For them, monster coins allow you to become an attacking creature and fight the defenders. Available both in-game and via the cash shop, monster coins come in a range of quality and have their own progression path. Players don't only need to save themselves from these world events, but also the civilizations they seek to destroy. Nodes are the systems civilizations are built upon. The world is sectioned into zones of influence, and as players gain experience via questing or combat, the node in that zone of influence increases in experience as well. Nodes have 6 stages, starting at the expedition stage and growing to a metropolis at stage 6. With each stage, new quests unlock, more NPCs and services become available. The node's zone of influence also increases in size as well, meaning more and more players are contributing to the growth of the city. However, each new stage also takes longer to progress, from hours to weeks. There are 4 different types of nodes: divine, economic, military, and scientific, and each one chooses its politicians a different way. Divine politicians are chosen by service quests. Economic nodes elect theirs via purchase and trade. Military leaders are appointed via combat, and scientific node leaders are chosen by election. Each node type also grants special bonuses if they reach the 6th metropolis stage. For example, an economic metropolis enables the largest marketplace in the game for players to buy and sell goods, while a scientific metropolis enables fast travel, which is very rare. While nodes are one way for players to exert control over the world, castles are how guilds will establish dominance. Unlike nodes, these massive castles are static structures in the world that guilds can fight over for control. Guilds will want these castles not only for prestige, but to also control the 3 military nodes in the castle's vicinity, which can progress up to a maximum of stage 4. Castles will be a base of operations for trade, housing, and crafting, but maybe most exciting, the guild leader who controls the castle will get a flying dragon mount. No other mounts in the game can fly, so dragons will provide a massive boon to those who ride them. Leaders of metropolises are also awarded with a dragon mount, but only 5 nodes can be a metropolis at any one time. So not only will these exceptional mounts be highly coveted, they will also be the reason many go to war. Nodes and castles aren't just centers of civilization that can be built up, they are also highly contested points of conflict that can be torn down. Sieges will require massive amounts of effort, from siege engines being crafted to actual siege mechanics instead of mindless zergs. Sieges are declared by players and require prerequisites to be completed, which are very tough and scale with the type of node being sieged. Control for castles will be on a 4-week rotation. Each week, one of the nodes surrounding the castle will be vulnerable to siege, and the outcome will either aid or hinder the defenses of the castle, which will be directly siegeable on the 4th week. Sieges against nodes have different preparation times before a siege begins, then a 2-hour siege window, and then varying cooldown recovery periods. Ashes of Creation will also have arenas available in 1v1, 3v3, and 5v5 modes, with a ladder system including rewards. And leaders of military nodes will be chosen via an arena-style competition. But PvP isn't just restricted to sieges and arenas, but also has a flagging system letting you attack anyone in the open world, aside from party members and those in your guild and alliance. Everyone starts as a non-combatant, green, and if you attack someone, you become a combatant, purple. If you kill someone who doesn't fight back, you become corrupted, red. Death penalties include XP loss and reduced stats for a time. Combatants have the lowest penalties, while corrupted players have the highest penalties, many times greater, and can also drop gear based on how much corruption they've accumulated. So while this system allows free-for-all PvP, it also dissuades random murder sprees and encourages all parties to engage in combat. But if and when a player does go on a rampage racking up corruption, they become prey to bounty hunters. Unlocked via the military node, the bounty hunting title allows players to see corrupted players on their map, making for easy hunting. So before you start your reign of terror, killing everyone you see, maybe stash some of your valuables back at home. There are multiple types of housing available in Ashes of Creation, starting with in-node homes. Beginning at stage 3, nodes will unlock a limited amount of homes that will be available for purchase in-game. When a node progresses to the next stage, new property becomes available and existing homes grow in size, meaning that once a node reaches stage 6, the earliest homeowners will have the largest estates, the size of mansions. In-node housing can also be sold, which adds a real estate aspect and makes getting in early potentially very profitable. But don't fret if you're late to the party, there's another option. Once a node reaches stage 4, the node's politicians can unlock instanced apartments. These vary in size and price, and while not as impressive as a mansion, they still offer some housing functionality. Also, like other housing options, apartments allow you to become a citizen of that node, which has some impressive benefits. Only a citizen can reap the rewards of a stage 6 metropolis that their taxes pay for. They can gain titles based on their position within the society, can participate in elections, and are able to sell their goods in local markets. The last type of housing are freeholds. Once a node reaches stage 3, plots become available within that node's zone of influence. On these plots you can build homes, inns, taverns, forges, lumberyards, stables. While some will settle for a nice view and a tidy garden, there's plenty of opportunity to turn a handsome profit. Set up shop next to a rich ore deposit and process raw materials, or use your inn as a stop for players venturing to the deepest dungeons. Those who are more interested in economy and crafting will be happy to know this is a full-time option, with your artisan class allowing you to specialize what you do. Top tier crafted gear will be on par with epic boss drops, and item decay will keep demand flowing. Crafters can tag their items, letting everyone know who makes the best stuff, but be careful you don't get too greedy because over enchanting an item can lead to destruction. Fishing is confirmed, as well as breeding mounts, and NPCs can be hired to work for you. While players cannot steal from you, housing is not immune to the effects of war. In-node homes can be deleveled, apartments can be destroyed, and if a siege is successful, freeholds are vulnerable to attack from enemies. So before your hard work is destroyed, load up your caravan and sell them at market. Caravans can be used to help progress node quests and build castle defenses, but they are also major points of contention. Caravans revolve around risk and reward. With no global auction house, local markets are essential to the economy. However, caravans are also active PvP zones. Initiated and customized by the player, caravans can take many different routes and have varying launch times. Limited fast travel means you may just sneak through on your own, and other players can help defend you with rewards comparable to that of would-be bandits. But have no doubt, these routes will be highly contested, but the payoff could be huge. Once you reach your destination, citizens can lease stalls in the marketplace to sell their goods. These stalls will visually change depending on the wares being offered, and players can search for what's available via town center billboards. Additional services such as repairs and enchantments can be sold, and don't worry about going AFK, as stalls can be set up to continue operating while you're offline. The final Kickstarter stretch goal also added a stock exchange. This very in-depth system will add a whole new element to the economic game. Shares will be available to players based on the metrics of that node's progression. Things like nearby resources, what items are being created, and bosses that have been defeated. We've covered a lot, but it's just the beginning. This world was abandoned long ago, and our heroes are just returning. After coming through the divine gateways, you're not led through a series of theme park leveling zones, but instead have the freedom to explore this open world. Content is based on the progress of those in it. The further a node has progressed, the more advanced the area becomes. Rare monsters spawn depending on your choices instead of spawn timers. So every server will have its own unique story and content available to its players. Seasons will change, unlocking new discoveries, and these changes can be felt not just above ground, but below as well. The Underrealm was added during Kickstarter and promises to add another dimension of exploration. But don't worry about wearing out your favorite pair of sandals, as your travels will not only be on foot, but on the high seas as well. Ocean content including underwater dungeons, oversea trade routes, raid bosses, and PvP ship battles. And while naval content has been planned from the beginning, additional features were added during the Kickstarter to include more ship classes and expanded underwater content. By taking the best from games that have come before and letting players have meaningful impact on the world with real change, Ashes of Creation is going big. They're also turning the monetization system upside down, guaranteeing no pay to win and no box costs, instead using a monthly subscription fee and cosmetic shop. Steven Sharif is new to game development, but isn't afraid to do things differently. All he cares about is making MMOs great again. To see my most recent video, click there on the left. Also, another one you might like is there on the right. Don't forget to share with your friends, subscribe for more videos, and like if you liked. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.